John C. in Meeker, Colorado. See more better with freeprescriptionlenses.com. And today I get to cut another beautiful pair of glasses with exceptional lenses. But first I want to give a shout out to John's children, his two daughters, Aaliyah and Kayla, and his two sons, John and Jaden. When I talked to him on the phone last night, he had just gotten home. They were so excited to see him. They were going to take a trip to Denver. And I know the kids are going to enjoy that. So let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to take out, this is, of course, part of the sticker's missing, but the Versace 2163 color 1002, which is the black gold and the 63 eye size. This is the gift box that it comes in. Your card of authenticity, your international warranty where you can register your product. Of course, the Italian leather Versace case. And the star of the show, the main attraction, well, we'll get to him in a minute. More junk mail in every language in your Versace cleaning cloth. We'll keep that there in the case. Now, the star of the show. It is the 2163 in color 1002 in the black gold. It comes with a little plastic sleeve on the left temple to protect the temples from rubbing together while it is being shipped from Italy. And I'll put that on there when I ship to you. And as I mentioned, where's my flashlight? Come on, flashlight. Where are you hiding at? Where are you hiding? What did I do? It's behind the case. But yeah, all Versace's are made in Italy. Yeah, the light's on. There you go. So it has the Medusa on the side with the Greco emblem around it on both temples. And I'm going to go ahead and begin. Let's see. We're going to use get rid of the flathead. We're going to use the Phillips head screwdriver. We're going to loosen that just enough. And I'm going to hold that over the case in case the screw wants to pop out. Pop out your original demo lenses. Tighten that back up. Again, the Phillips head, holding it upside down so the screw cannot pop out. Put that in there. Let's put that one in there too. Tighten that back down. Now, because of the curvature of this frame, most eyeglass frames are straight. Because of the curvature of this frame, I had to have these lenses custom made. The regular lenses you see me take out of the paper packets were just too flat, which has its advantages on frames like I'm wearing, which are much flatter. But since I had to have these custom made, John opted to have not just the regular transitions, but the transitions XTRAactive gray, and he also opted to have the Crizal Sapphire anti-glare coating. So I had to match the curvature of the frame with the lens. That is why this one is curved the way it is. But it's going to give the best finished product in this frame. So you are Secret Agent 516 today. I'm going to enter this number into the computer. So years from now, if you have, these are non-prescription fashion lenses. His eyes are 20/20, but he wanted a really nice frame. So years from now, if you ever need prescription lenses, I just scan that number and I can go ahead and send you just the lenses. You won't have to mail the frame back to me to have new lenses installed. So we're going to take the frame, put it into the tracing element of my blocker and hit start. If everything goes well, sometimes it doesn't like high curvature frames. That stylus is going to go around, up. Is it fighting me? It is fighting me. Tracing impossible. The frame is too curved. So we're going to outsmart the machine. I'm going to put it in here sideways like this. And we're just going to trace the one lens. Oh, it's going to do that to you, are you? It's going to fight me. It's going to fight me. All right, we're going back to plan B. I'm going to outsmart this machine if it's the last thing I do. Let's do this. We're going to do both lenses again. I'm just going to flatten the frame out while it is in there. Press down on the edges. There we go. That's what I should have done to begin with. So the stylus is going to go around and trace the inside bevel of the right side of the frame before doing the same thing on the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy a genuine, authentic Versace frame and you'll receive one free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number, so you will get reimbursed for this purchase, whether they're prescription or not. Okay, here's what we're going to do next. We are going to trace the lens itself. So, where's that right lens? Is this the right lens? That is, nope, that's the left lens. This is the right lens. So we're going to take the lens. Normally I would put dots on here to line it up if this were prescription, but because these are non-prescription, I'm just going to turn that over like that, press that on there. This is what I would do for semi-rimless frames if there were a string at the bottom. There's no frame to trace. Making me work for my money today, John C. So now let's go ahead and again, we are going to trace just the right lens. This is what the machine was trying to do earlier when it popped up in the middle. But as I mentioned, so it's just going to trace the outside parameters of the lenses. But my receipt has my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or flex dollars, you will get reimbursed for this purchase, whether they are prescription or not. And of course, these are non-prescription lenses in a prescription capable frame, so your insurance or flex dollars will use this. What is the frame measurements? Not that it's going to matter for non-prescription, but it's telling me it thinks it's 18. I'm going to enter it at 15, which is the actual bridge size. 63.15 if my camera is good enough to pick that up. Hit the check button, and that's going to go around. That is the shape of the lens we will be cutting today. You don't believe me? Pull that sticker off. Look, I get an extra sticker today to stick on there. That is the shape that we will be cutting. So put the lens back where it goes, move that over there. Now if these were prescription, I would enter the pupillary distance and the optical center height, but I don't have to do that. So I just need to go ahead and block the lenses. That's a term. This is a block, or as I like to call them, Jenny from the block. I need to attach 2 double-sided adhesive stickers, of which I've got a couple here. The black side is the sticky side. I'm going to line this up on the first one, line this up on the second one, pull the paper away to make the black side sticky, throw that in the trash. On the back is a little silver button that is a magnet that's going to attach itself to another magnet inside the arm. Place that there. I'm going to take, even though these are non-prescription, this is marked as the right lens. I love how they do that. But I just want to make sure the lens is large enough to fit into the, so I'm just going to make sure that it is, move everything the way it should be. Hit that button, the arm comes down and places the block onto the right lens. I'm going to do the same thing now for the left lens. Pull the paper away to make the black side sticky. Again, if these were prescription, I would enter the pupillary distance and the optical center height, but that is not needed since these are non-prescription. Make sure everything is large enough to fit, and it is. And now I'm going to hit the button, and the arm's going to come down and place the block onto the left lens. Now this is the edger. This is what costs $40,000. It weighs 200 pounds. I recommend everyone go out, buy their own, put it on your kitchen counter. Then you can cut your own lenses at home, and you won't need this guy anymore to do it for you. But the actual cutting wheel is this. It's a diamond encrusted wheel that's going to grind your lens down until it's the final size. This wheel in the center, that channel, that little valley, that's what's going to put the V-shaped bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. Now I'm going to wake up the computer. Job number 516, Secret Agent 516, that is the shape we are cutting. These are polycarbonate lenses. If they were plastic, high index plastic or Trivex, I would select that, but we're going to stick with the unbreakable polycarbonate. Now here's something you don't see me do, because I traced one lens. It thinks it's a semi-rimless, meaning it would cut a groove onto the lens. We are not going to do that. We're going to keep this as a metal frame with that little bevel point, if you can see that. I'm not going to polish the edge of the lenses because they won't be seen anyway. I'm not going to put a bevel on the front convex surface of the lens. I'm only going to put a safety bevel on the rear concave surface of the lens. Now the magnet is going to do its job a second time today, and the final time it's going to attach itself to another magnet there in the chuck, or as I like to call it, the Charles, because I don't know this machine well enough to call it Chuck. Yep, you get bad jokes with every pair of glasses sold. I'm hit the green arrow, which is starred in every language. The door closes, the clamp shuts, and then the lens is going to be traced by 2 white styluses, making sure it's large enough to go into the frame. And actually I want to do one little thing here. Let me back up. Oh, I stopped it. I want to, excuse. It's usually set on automatic. I'm going to do something manually here. I want the machine to know that it's cutting a high curvature lens. So again, it's going to trace the shape of the lens out. You can see as it's doing that, and then it's going to give me more parameters at the bottom. And that is again what it'll be cutting. I'm going to select the curvature, and it already knows that it's a 7 curvature lens, base curve of 7, which I ordered to fit into the high curvature. I usually do a lot of base 4, which is flatter. The 7 does that. Hang on. Oh, my wife. Hang on 1 second. Hang on, I got a text her. It was snowing today, and she just wanted me to know that, look at that. Are you at work? You haven't let me know you made it okay. Oh, what a sweet and loving wife. So, now we can hit the green arrow. I text her back, yes, I made it. I'm going to hit the start button. The cutting wheel is going to start spinning, and in just a moment the lens is going to drop down onto that cutting wheel. But if you see light flickering in the background, that is water there to catch the optical sawdust as it comes off the cutting wheel. Polycarbonate lenses cut dry, where plastic, Hindex plastic, and Trivex cut wet. Today is the first day of spring. I came in a little early so I could get these lenses cut before the customers started coming in, Wednesday, March 21st. But ironically, we may be getting our last snow of the year. It is currently snowing. It is beautiful outside. It's not like up north where they're going to get pounded by another nor'easter. We're just getting the visual effect. It's going to get up to about 45 degrees today. It is currently 41 degrees and still snowing. How does it do that? But it's going to keep warming up, so nothing's going to stick. But as I mentioned, your lenses are made out of polycarbonate. Polycarb is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. They are virtually unbreakable. These are high-impact ballistics grade lenses, the same type of material our soldiers wear in combat zones to protect their eyes. These lenses also have 100% UVA and UVB protection built into the lenses. Unlike the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays, well, we know how sensitive your skin is. Your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin to UV rays. So this is permanent UV protection that never needs to be reapplied, unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays you have to apply when you're outdoors. You can still see a little bit of schwarf on the edge of the lens there. But if you notice, your lens is completely flat, just like a nickel. If I were to take it out, it would stand up on the counter on its own. It's now going to go onto the bevel wheel to get the V-shaped bevel. But you also opted to have the Crizal Sapphire anti-glare. Crizal Sapphire is the clearest of all the anti-glare coatings. Up until a couple years ago, all Crizal coatings had a greenish purple hue to it in certain lighting and certain conditions, at certain angles I should say. And then they came out with Crizal Prevencia, which is the blue blocking one, which has a truer purple hue to it. The Crizal Sapphire is a blue hue, hence the term blue to crystal clear, hence the name Sapphire. But this is the clearest of all the coatings. People are raving about it. Now, currently it is taking up to 2 weeks because it is so new. There's only certain labs that can apply it. It takes over 24 hours to vaporize 8 different coatings onto the lens, and because they're doing it in slower batches, they can only produce so many per day, and that's what's taking a little bit longer. Now, I do ask everyone to give me 2 weeks on Crizal Sapphire. I am getting stuff back quicker. I just don't want to promise you 1 week and it does end up being 2 weeks. But I'll demonstrate the transition to XTRAactive portion of the lens in just a moment. But the lens is just about to finish up. It's getting the safety bevel on the rear concave surface of the lens. I will now open the door with my mind. You like that? I can do other things with my mind. I can melt ice with my mind. I just can't come up with any new jokes. So I'm going to dry the lens off. Make sure there's no more schwarf on the edge of the lens, of which there is a little. So I'll scrape that off with my thumbnail. I'm going to do a little bit of lefty-loosey with my small Phillips head screwdriver on the right lens. And because these are unbreakable lenses, I'm going to go ahead and pop it in. There we go. I do not have to remove the screw all the way because I always fear it falling on the floor. And John C. did not pay me enough to get on my hands and knees and crawl around in the video. So that costs extra. So that is cut perfectly. That is nice and tight. Everything is closed down. So I'm going to cut. Look at that. You see that curvature there too? That's what I'm talking about, John. That's what we we talked about. That's why I had to have your lenses custom made. Look at that. That is perfect finish quality. That's why you hired a licensed optician to cut your lenses for you. And that's why other people, Mr. K from a few weeks back had the same lens. He had a progressive, the invisible bifocal with very high astigmatism, and he went to several doctor's offices where he lives in South Carolina, and they told him his prescription could not be put in that frame. If you scroll back through my videos for another Mr. K Versace 2163, you saw how I did it, and that's why you get such a great finished product. Anyone can make an easy pair. Look at that. Look at that. Sorry if I toot my own horn, but sometimes you just know when you're good. So I'm gonna flip that over to L. Watch me jinx myself on the left lens. Press that down real firmly. Stick that in there. Into the Charles, the Chuckster, the Chucky baby. And then hit the green arrow again, which is start in every language. The door closes, the clamp shuts, and then the lens is going to be tracing you'll see the left lens as it starts to follow my finger, as it's tracing the shape of the left lens. Beep, you may now turn the page. And of course, measuring the thickness of the lens at every point, it does not know that, as smart as this machine is, it does not know that these are non-prescription lenses. So it's measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly where to place the bevel. And of course, this is a 7 curvature. It did measure that it's a 7 curvature lens. It just doesn't know that it's non-prescription. So again, hit that green arrow that tells it I'm okay with what it's going to do. The wheel starts up, and then the lens drops down onto the cutting wheel. Now, if these, I can go ahead and take the block off. Put the little sticker on there. Where's that right lens again? Let's hold this up. Look at that. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. A little bit extra here for you. This is called a Geneva lens clock. Measuring the curvature of the lens. 7.5 base curve. There we go. Let me put this back on there. When it's on 0, that's what you get. 0 right there in the middle on a flat surface. You can't get any flatter than 0. So I'm gonna put that back in there. Now, if these were prescription, I'm gonna do it anyway. I would come down here and measure, read the prescription off of here. Let's read that power, and I am getting 0, non-prescription, Plano, which is more than just a city in Texas. So, that is in there well. Put that back there. The left lens is cutting. I'm going to go back and talk a little bit more about the Crizal coating. Now, anti-glare is 3 features in one. As I mentioned, it is an anti-glare coating, so it reduces glare when driving at night, especially driving at night in the rain, but from street lights, stoplights, computer screens, overhead fluorescent lights and such. It also reduces, it goes by the initials ARC. Look at the Schwarf on the edge of that lens there. The ARC stands for anti-reflective coating, so when it reduces reflection, so when someone's looking at you, they're not looking at their reflection in your glasses. It makes for much better eye contact because they're seeing just your eyes. Plus, if someone takes a picture with a flash, you won't see the flash lit up in the lens. But as I was referring to before, the machine that applies this costs well over $1 million. It takes over 24 hours to vaporize 8 different coatings. And because they run these things in small batches, they only run 1 batch per day. And so that's what takes a little bit longer to get these out. These are just like planes on a runway waiting to take off. The lenses sit there on the counter waiting per day. Now they can actually grind the prescription in a day's time. They just don't know what day it's going to be, get the coating put on the Crizal Sapphire. Once that's on there and is dried and inspected, then they ship it out. Sorry if you keep hearing my phone beep. It's early in the day. I'm getting a ton of emails and texts from people. Back from my wife. Let's see what she says. Hang on, make sure it's nothing personal. Oh, look, she's sending me pictures of what the deck looks like. That is snow on the back deck back home. Guys out there, I'm sorry you had to settle. I got the last perfect wife, love her to death. We just had our 10th wedding anniversary. Ooh, look at that. Oh, the Schwarf fell off. Look at it. Now that's Schwarf for you right there. That's something you don't normally see. That is optical sawdust that comes off of the lens. I'm going to use my thumbnail, scrape off anyone. Let's go ahead and dry the lens off first. Ooh, another big piece. I'll throw that in there. Now what it does, I'll give you a little extra tour today. Let me make sure it's all off of there. What it does, when you see the water running, it's in a complete cycle. So it filters the optical sawdust there. What makes it through the screen, set that right there. What makes it through the screen, I have another sock which catches that, and I empty that out at the end of the day. There's a pump here that pumps the water up into the machine, and then it will drain back down into here. So let's put that back there. It is a closed system, pump and tank. I'm gonna lefty-loosey the left lens, tuck the lens in at the outside corner, tighten that down, righty-tighty. That is tightened up perfectly, so I can go ahead and take this block off. If it were too large, I would take it down a little bit more, but I don't need to. Take my sticker, where can I, oh, so it's starting to peel off right there. Let's press that back down. It's growing, it's growing. So, again, if these were prescription, I would come down here and check the prescription, of which I am still getting 0, Plano, Texas. Okay, Plano power. Now, I want to go ahead and clean your lenses off. And of course, this is the part in every video that, as I mentioned, while I'm cleaning your lenses, that when you get these in the mail, and it's free shipping anywhere in the US, but when you get these in the mail, there's a small chance that these could fit too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That is because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other, and I'm part of that 80%. I am not excluded. But because of that statistic, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. So just stop by a local doctor's office and just tell them if the glasses are sitting, you know, if they're too loose or too tight or high on one side. It only takes about 30 seconds to a minute to adjust a pair of glasses perfectly, and no one hardly ever asks where you buy them from. But I'm going to get them in standard alignment, also known as a 3-point stance. So the 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. I flip them over, press down, there is no wobble. I check the tension on each hinge and make sure those are perfect and they're not askew like that, and they're lined up perfectly. Now, here is, let me pull this out. These are what Transitions XTRAactive look like while they're clear. I have the Transition Signature 7, so very close. Mine have about 3 to 5% hue while indoors. The Transitions XTRAactive have about 5 to 7% while indoors. But they do a lot more than my Signature 7. As you will see in just a moment, I'm going to put this in my little Transitions box. Lenses that adapt to changing light conditions. See for yourself, as we say here in the dirty South. Clean that back up. But it takes about 30 to 45 seconds for transition lenses to darken. It takes a little bit longer when you come back inside, 45 seconds to a minute 15. Now this is important, John, pay attention. All transition lenses will get dark on day 1. They're going to continue to darken every day for the first 2 weeks they're exposed to the sun. After that, they will work for years with maximum performance. Now, the only time the Transition Signature 7 lenses like I'm wearing won't work is if you're behind the windshield of a car. Your windshield absorbs all the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays, so your dashboard doesn't crack from sitting in the sun all day. That's why Transition Signature 7 don't work in a car. However, yours are Transitions XTRAactive, so they will get about 30 to 50% dark in a car when you're driving. Now, they're also temperature sensitive, meaning that transition lenses don't get as dark when it's 85 and below as they will when it's 95 and above. Oh, I'm sorry, they'll get darker when it's in cooler temperatures. But I remind everyone, when it's 100 degrees outside, you're miserable, they're miserable. Nobody works 100% when it's 100 degrees outside. Except you have the Transitions XTRAactive. They're designed for XTRAactive people who spend a lot of time doing outdoor activities. So these will get darker in hotter weather, unlike the lenses that I'm wearing. You know what? I think I need to order a pair of XTRAactive myself. I sell enough of these things, I got to try them, but my prescription hasn't changed enough for me to order some new lenses. But as you can see now, if you have a convertible or a motorcycle, all transition lenses will darken. So this is the first time yours have been activated. Don't worry, they're going to keep getting darker and darker for the first 2 weeks. Come on, John, we talked about that, don't you remember? But that's that. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, or you can follow me on Facebook or Instagram as freeprescriptionlenses.com. You can follow me on Twitter at freerxlenses. If anyone has any questions, you can contact me on the website or simply email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. Or you can leave a comment or a question down below so that other people can read it and benefit from it. Now, as you can see, as I run my mouth, the lenses are getting lighter and lighter. But this is what they look like just the first time. The transitions XTRAactive gray in the black gold frame. This is sharp. This is sharp. Of course, because of the curvature, it didn't get as dark on that corner, but when you're outside, it will. This is just a flat box. And again, the curvature of the lenses while it was sitting in there like that, this part of the lens was closer to the light than that was. So that's why it's darker at the center. Plus, the way it was leaning, this lens got a little bit more. If you notice, I was trying to even it out, but I didn't do a good enough job. But that's that. John C. in Meeker, Colorado. And of course, his kids, Aaliyah, Kayla, John, and Jaden. You're going to see your dad rocking these things. Again, these are the Versace 2163 color 1002, the black gold and the 63 eye size. This frame sells for $230 and again comes with one free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses, which is what John opted for since he's 2020. He just wanted a banging pair of glasses to wear. The Transitions XTRAactive is an add-on, same as the Crizal Sapphire. You don't have to get Sapphire. You can get Prevencia or other anti-glares. But he wanted the best. You don't buy a Ferrari and then get the cloth seats. You get the leather seats with the sports package, and that's what John got. When he got the Versace, he wanted the nicest possible transition lens with the nicest possible Crizal Sapphire coating. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and hopefully everyone else got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.